I'm glad. Sound check. Welcome. They tell me that there's about 60 people here and about 30 watching online. And by my math, that's about 110 saying, where are we supposed to go? What's happening? I thought there was no chapel. I'm Dr. Anson. For those of you that I haven't met or haven't seen lately, if I walk by you in the hall and I don't greet you with the normal warmth, it's because I didn't recognize you with your mask, right? Yeah, also, if you don't know me and I'm like, hey, it's because I'm glad that somebody's here, and I'm trying to compensate for the people I don't recognize by greeting all the people, if that makes sense, right? So I'm really glad you're here. I appreciate it. I do apologize for starting a little late. I was trying to make room for brethren who are finding their way here. I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for coming to LeTourneau. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for trusting God in a broken world, in a season largely without precedent in our lifetime. It's an act of faith to come back, and you have choices where to go. And you had to pray up and think up and save up and prepare up and negotiate with your family and figure out what to do. And you decided that in the plan of God, this was the best step for you, and that this was a place that you could give enough trust and confidence to return in a broken season. And I don't take that lightly. I really appreciate that you're here. I hope that we can love you and serve you well. I hope that we can speak the truth of what's hard and the hope of what's true in Christ. And in that, I hope we can be beyond relevant. I hope we can be relatable. I hope that we can be people that you go, people ask me, they say, well, how are you? And it's a standard answer, and it's true. I'm serving God and trying to meet the needs of people in my life. That's how I am, right? Now, there's some fun, right? I did buy thousands of rounds of 22 shells as the coronavirus kicked off, and I have enjoyed that hobby greatly. I have a little range at my house, and that's been fun, right? I've done some fun things in life. I've discovered boba tea in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know that I needed it, but I need to go with the people that I love to get it. That I need to do, right? To me, that's the people and the process is better than the tea. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we're together. So some of you have seen this before in class, or if you're a freshman, and so you're going to see it again, and you're going to see it quick. And like a lot of things, I stopped saying them when they stopped being true. And so agenda, devotional, ABET reaccreditation. What's up with that? It's a visit. Well, it's a remote visit. What's that mean? What's ABET? If you don't know, I'm going to tell you. It's the people that make sure when we teach you engineering, it's not actually washing machine repair that we call engineering, right? It's real engineering. Design, build, test, fundamentals, accredited, reviewed, experts review it. It's the people who make sure your degree, it has the fundamentals and has the meets the requirements. And so it just occurred to me as I was saying that I never asked the Lord to bless our time together. So why don't we pray? Lord Jesus, I pray that you would allow me to be a blessing to these brethren, that you would allow me to answer questions that they have, to speak hope in life, and to get us all moving in the same direction or the direction that's good for each of us. Thank you for this time. In Christ's name, amen. If we have extra time, I've been assured that Professor Olson will come play the piano, and Dr. File is going to play the guitar, if only if we have time. And we're not going to have time, actually. So, amen to not having time. I came and I was like, I'm really not prepared for that. That is way outside my skill set. So registration, spring 2021, we're going to talk about it. Parting words of hope. Here we go. Let's do this thing. COVID-19 is negatively pressurized. That is a technical assessment of a reality that we're living. What I felt, what I wanted to say, but I'm told perhaps maybe indecorous, is that COVID-19 sucks. So I changed it to a technical assessment based on facts without emotion, and I calmly, gentlemanly asserted, COVID-19 is negatively pressurized. God is great. These two dualities can live in one place at one time, and to ignore one sort of makes me question my credibility when I say the other. And so to acknowledge it to me is actually very hopeful and very mature and very reasonable. and very healthy. David in the Psalms, David didn't say, God, it's great. They all love me. He said, it's nuts. They're trying to kill me, right? He told God how it was, how he felt about it. And God was very present with him. So here we go. Let's unpack a little bit of this. So these are some of the points you hear and you see, and I'm going to unpack each one. Elephants in the room is probably an old guy statement. If there was an elephant in the room, we wouldn't have to say there's an elephant in the room. You would see it. You would hear it. And I'm talking about, I can't even do the noise well anymore. Big, giant elephant noise. And I suspect you would smell it. Oh, just got weird, didn't it? But if we don't talk about it, it's not there. Well, that's not how that works, actually. So these are some of the points. We're going to unpack them a little bit, and then we're going to get into some things that will be really helpful to you for this semester. So if you're a freshman, by the way, this is where, thank you, I got some freshmen. Who's some freshmen? Freshmen, if you give me a wave. Excellent. You found your way to the not academic chapel for people that still want it and need it and love it and knew how to do something productive with it the whole time. So normally you'll meet with academic chapel, you meet with your dean one time in the semester, your chair another time in the semester, and your academic advisor the third time in the semester, and that's when you figure out what you're going to do with your schedule. It's not when you actually register, but it's when you come up with a plan. And so this is for that purpose. So the virus is different. I don't think it's different to God. I think he knows exactly how it works. I think he is in it and in control and with us. Have you not known, have you not heard, the Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He is not surprised by this virus. I find great comfort in that. I also don't think he takes joy in this virus, but he's not surprised. To me, that's a good thing. It's not different to him. The times are scary. So you got an email. You're coming back to campus. There's going to be testing. It's going to be a cheek swab. 3 days before you show up, they express that they're going to take an 8-inch swab and stick it 10 inches up your nose. Right? That's my son's assessment. He says actually it's a 6-inch swab that goes 7 inches up your nose. Don't question the math. That's what it felt like. This is what he asserts to me. Let me assure you, first of all, that was not a bait and switch. So I wasn't part of that decision, but by faith and by reason, good people had good plans, and then bad things happened, and it became a nasal pharyngeal swab. Let's talk about this thing for a minute. Some of you are like, that is the most awful procedure I have ever had. And some of you are like, wasn't that bad? So it wasn't that bad for me. I had the test, partially because I didn't want to hear, welcome faculty didn't have to have the test. Right? I don't think your employer can mandate that you have the test. I think that's why they didn't have to. Why did I? Well, because I wanted to know. And because I wanted to be relatable, hopefully, in some way. And I wanted to know how. I'd seen 2 family members have it. They both kind of gagged. It wasn't bad for me. It's possible that it has something to do with the size of my very healthy nose. Hypothetically. It's possible that I don't have too terribly deviated septum, or nasal polyps, or other things that you don't want to think about. But if you have them, it is the most awful procedure. And so arguing over whether or not it's awful or not is really silly. It was awful for you. I'm really sorry. That's rough. Mine wasn't bad. That's like, this is not a factual argument. This is a personal experience argument, right? This is like, I like coffee, I like tea. You know? You can like both. You can like neither, right? It's how you experienced it. So I am with you, and I will watch over you wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I promised. It's scary, but God's in it with us. By the way, if you recognize this young lady and you need to get another nasal swab, get in her line, because that could be the other factor. She just... It was like a dance. It was elegant. Right? Some of you got the ones that get up in there. Get the whole body stirring that thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Take it easy, bro. I'm trying to breathe. The facts are scarce. The opinions are diverse. No, they're not, Dr. Anson. The facts are clear. You know, I probably agree with you more on that statement than you would imagine, actually. But the problem is we can't agree on which things are facts and which things are opinions, right? And so if you have arguments with people over the virus, that was a filter catch. Did you see that? I had a very clear thought, and it got caught in my filter. Over whether or not it's right and whether or not it should be this way and whether or not it's true, you're probably not going to win them until they're ready to have that conversation, right? There's those of you who have great concerns about personal liberty and question whether the virus will get suddenly better on November 4th. And really good questions, I think. But not everyone's ready for those conversations. And so if you chase them with that topic, you're kind of weird to them, right? You're not very relevant to them. And so be gentle. So dear friends, here's what I would do. Here's what I would aspire to do. I hope to achieve it. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not, I switched monitors. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. This is love. Not that we've loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. It's getting real in here. Dear friends, since God so loved us, if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. I don't think we're going to argue and reason our way through these facts, and I certainly don't think we're going to make friends by chasing people on this topic. Now, if you find somebody who, how do you know if someone's comfortable with a topic? Well, you probably get to know them first, right? You probably get to, they like being with you. And then they say, how are you? And you say, well, I read an article today that was hard. It was about this. How do you know they're interested? Tell me more. How do you know they're not interested? You've been talking for the last 10 minutes, and they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller in their chair. That's how you know they're not interested, right? Or they run away, right? So proceed with caution. Love people. Love them. The economy has contracted. It has. If you work in hospitality or tourism, it has contracted immensely. 20% unemployment in those industries right now. It's a big deal. Most locations have classified engineering as an essential job. You couldn't travel from Texas to Louisiana unless you did oil and gas work and had a piece of paper from your employer that said, I am part of the critical infrastructure. You may not have heard. I'm an engineer. And you keep traveling, right? And you keep getting paid. This is probably the best part. It's an essential job. God's favor landed here, 1946, LeTourneau University. Christian technical education landed at LeTourneau in 1946 because Ma LeTourneau wanted a place for veterans coming back from World War II to get the gospel of Jesus Christ, probably not in this order. I bet the order was more a pot roast, somebody loves you and cares about you, a home-cooked meal, an education, a job, and then I think probably the gospel of Jesus Christ. Ma LeTourneau was treating PTSD long before anybody called it PTSD. Right? This was for World War II veterans to come and go to school. It was all male, as such is the nature of World War II veterans. And it became co-ed, I think, in the 60s. And here we kind of almost forget that it wasn't co-ed. God's favor landed here on Christian technical engineering education. I think you're going to be okay. I think this works out well. You showed up, by the way. So that wearing masks is I don't think hypoxia is necessarily good for learning. Hypoxia is a big technical word for I don't have enough oxygen. I don't think that helps you learn. I don't think when I talk and my glasses fog up, that helps me teach. Somebody, glasses people, you feel me? You with me? Sorry, that's a New York expression. You feel me? First of all, I don't want to touch you. Second of all, there's a virus, right? What do you mean? It's weird. No, do you understand what I'm feeling? If you tuck your mask underneath your glasses, it helps a little with the fogging up. It looks weird, feels weird. Bro, you're wearing a mask. How much weird is it going to get, right? This mask's not pretty, huh? Okay, neither is all the other ones. Although I will say, Dr. Balmer has some very sharp-looking masks. Have you noticed? There's a lot of style going on there. So 98% placement rate. Our graduates, 98%, are where they want to be within a year after graduation. That does not mean it takes a year. That means some people have this liberty of a phenomenon called chill, which is where you go home and don't work and call it reflection or pondering, or maybe this is true, maybe I shouldn't say it. You call it seeking God's will. It might be seeking God's will, but you call it seeking God's will. You know what God's will is for you? Get a job, pay some bills. That's part of God's will for you. Man will not work, he will not eat. I'll show you the verse, right? So that's part of it. Now, does it have to be as an engineer when you graduate? No. So we measure it because it takes, that's the national way to measure it, is after a year. It doesn't mean it takes a year. Surely God's goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord. He's in this thing with us, right? Yeah, the economy's contracted. When you graduate in a year or 2 years or 3 years, or if you're a freshman in 4 years, you're going to say, COVID-19 was awful. I went to school, and also now I have a job, right? You've seen Braveheart? So Braveheart is one of these movies that is like, has wonderful inspirational themes and absolutely awful things that happen in it. And so I don't know if I should recommend that you watch it, because it is like inspiring and soul aching at the same time. But you go find William Wallace, his speech, and he says in that blue face, I want to get a mask, half blue, half white. William Wallace, he's got his Irish colors on his face. And he says, in that day, would you not give all the days from that day to this day? He's referring to them leaving the battlefield and dying warm in their beds. And he says, you can. And he says, aye, you can. He's part pirate. No, he's Scottish. He says, you can, and you'll die warm in your bed. But in that day, would you not give all the days from this day to that day to come back to this day and make a different choice, meaning to fight, or in your case, to go to school, right? I try the William Wallace speech on my kids sometimes. It didn't work well the first time, and it's really gone downhill since. They're like, yeah, no, we're not doing William Wallace. You haven't even seen the movie. I think they have now. Hey, we're here together. 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am with them. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Anybody ever sharpened a knife or an axe before? You know that part where you take 2 axes and you take the sharp edge and you bang them together and the sparks fly? That's not called sharpening it. That's called, this is why no one loans you their tools. Or, in the words of your mother, this is why we can't have nice stuff. Have you heard that? Have you heard that? Sharpening is a application of force and friction at the proper angle, right? This iron sharpens, you two are arguing, you're like, as iron sharpens iron. Bro, that's not how that verse works, actually. That's not how sharpening works. And that's not how fellowship works. Right? It's a lot more loving, deliberate process. If you haven't sharpened a knife, maybe you should. That verse will get so much clearer to you. Glorify the Lord. Hey, let's do this thing together. Glorify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. Last verse in this part. I'm going to switch from Devo to facts I think you need to know. The horse is made ready for the day of battle. I love this verse. But victory rests with the Lord. You have to get the horse ready. You have to go to school. You have to sign up for classes, which is going to be a soon coming topic. You're like, Dr. Anson, it's only week 4 of 14, brethren. Dr. Anson, I'll do it over Christmas break. With who? That's a good question. I'm going to expound upon that in a minute. Horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. We're going to do this thing together. When you get here and you go, hey, those dividers in Glasgow, how many of you were those dividers killing? How many of you have seen someone step over one of the rope dividers, break the rule, and avoid a crowd and a violation of social distancing? Like, do the more right thing while breaking the rules. Anybody seen that? Or you've been like, well, apparently I have to go all the way to the end where there's 4 people standing and then turn around and come back. That was really bothering me. Not that you step over it, but just that, like, it wasn't working. And I'm so thankful to tell you, I never sent an email about it. Did you notice they're gone? And the email that the faculty got was, hey, this is not having the intended purpose. We're not giving up on social distancing, but there was an unintended consequence of having these dividers, which was people would get in each other's face more. So they changed it. They changed it, I think, in Heath Hardwick and in Glasgow. Well, why didn't they know that in the first place? The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. Nobody's ever seen a battle like this. We're not exactly sure what the horse needs to look like, right? So bear with us, and I'm sure we do worse things that are goofy. All right, Abet, we're switching gears. Let me check time. We got lots of time. We got till 1:30, right? Some of you are like, 12:50. You're okay. So ABET, that's the accreditation people. It's the Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology, ABET. They are coming. So normally they would come and they would do a visit and you would meet with them and we would be like, hey, as far as everyone knows, we're a nice, normal school. Don't be weird those days. You know, this conversation your mom has. We're a nice, normal family, right? You two don't start at the dinner table. And I don't know why, but it's got to be 2 kids to get started. If you're an only child, you're like, I don't know, you like pick up the bill at dinner or something. Like, it's just a whole different process by which you grow up. So they're not going to come because they can't come. And I wish they would come because I'd like them to see you. I'd like them to know you. We got this great comment in a recent visit. There was I don't remember the word he used, but it was favorable. And then he used the word that I had to look up. There was a undeniable Christian ethos that permeated the campus. And I'm like, is that good? What's an ethos, right? Major theme. That's what an ethos is. It's a big deal. This guy didn't come to evaluate our Christianity. But he celebrated what was here when he got here. And I just think, wow, I'd love to get some more. Jesus, let us be relevant and relatable to a world that doesn't look for you, and let them go to work and let them come and let them see cool things and let them be just a little bit closer to you. They're not coming, but it's going to be online. So it's a visit, but if you see me running down the hall sweaty, or Dr. Green or Dr. File or any of the chairs, it's ABET. Like, it's a visit. Yeah, but you can talk with me for an hour. No, I cannot. I have to go do this thing, right? I have to get it ready. I have to give them an answer to a question that they believe they've found. So, starts on Sunday the 25th, goes through the 27th, probably actually go through the 28th. So you can see that red arrow remote visit that I've added that to this graphic. Dr. Hanson, you've been talking about ABET, or these people have, for like a year. And you know what? When it's all done on the 28th, 29th, we're still not going to have an answer for you. It's a process by which they vet all the findings and they normalize them and they compare them with other findings. It goes through an editing process. We are accredited. We will be accredited. Kind of in the same way you will pass your classes, because you study and do the stuff, right? Not because it's a given. So we've done the work, we've prepared well. If they find some things, we'll fix it. It's going to be okay. But if you catch us on the 30th and say, hey, are we accredited? We were, we are, we will be. Oh, so everything was great? No, we didn't get the score back yet. Does that make sense? It's a process, right? You're all a little bit familiar with begatting and childbirthing, right? It's a day. What's the big deal? It's a day. Really? Sorry. Ladies, you probably should throw stuff at me now. It's 9 months that culminates in a day, right? It's not a day. Neither is ABET. We expect very good things. So, advising meeting, Monday, October 19th. This semester is going to go fast. How many weeks are there this semester? 14. I'm going to be emotionally vulnerable for a minute. How many of you think that if I frame it as this, I'm almost going to tell you what answer I prefer. I think doing that made it easier to do on-ground classes because we didn't travel twice. Thanksgiving, hug your family, come back, share your germs, get new germs, go see grandma, Christmas, right? That's the spirit of why we did that. I don't know if that was ever explained or you ever understood that. In light of that, how many of you have a decent feeling about 14 weeks? You had to come back a week early. You're leaving 2 weeks early. You gave us 1, you're getting 2. You gave us 1, you're getting 2. Right? That's a good deal. Would you like another week? Right? ME and seat faculty had a voice, a pretty strong voice in that process. What does it take? If that was what crafted the game such that you could be here residentially in person, it was worth it. We'll find a way to cut some content out, right? If that's what it takes to do classes in person. And that wasn't a given, but we thought it increased the odds. So thank your faculty around you, because they really helped shape that into a digestible idea. So it's gonna go fast, 14 weeks. 15 weeks goes fast. 14 weeks is gonna go fast. We've got this national event in November that's gonna take some emotional and prayer and energy and time, called the election, right? This is gonna happen quick. You need to get your schedule done. It's always, if you're normally on top of it, I'm probably stressing you out. You're not the ones I need to talk to. I probably need to talk to the ones who aren't here and also aren't watching it, right? But no, we'll get them. We'll take care of them. Work on your schedule. So know who your advisor is. Figure it out. Freshmen, your Cornerstones class professor is your academic advisor. Freshmen, you are the least prepared to know how to make your schedule. Cornerstones faculty and PAs. I have found it to be highly effective to let the PA take the freshmen for one Cornerstone section and teach them how to navigate the advising system. If you and I do it, we see the screens one way as a faculty member. If a student does it, they see it in the same screen, in the same place, because the screens are different based on your role, right? So if a peer advisor does it, it can be highly effective and can take down anxiety. What time, by the way, do you register for classes? 8 a.m. What time are you ready? 7, 7:30. Why? Because it goes better. Why? Because you're going to live with the outcome for a whole semester. Is it that bad? No, but it can be that good. Oh, right? Put the effort in where it matters. So know who your advisor is. If you're a dual major, if you're engineering if you're physics because it's cool and engineering because you don't want to have to explain what you do for work, go to your mechanical engineering advisor has to approve your schedule. It's an ABET thing. It's how we fulfill some ABET requirements. So this is how you can see who your advisor is. Your advisor surely is not Charlene Hunt. It must have been one of my children's advisors when they were a dual credit student, and I logged in as them to get the screenshot. If you're on the sequence, stay on the sequence. So the green sheet, the freshmen, you know nothing of this. It's okay. Don't get anxious. We got you, okay? It's green sheet. I'm going to show you a picture of it in a minute. If you're on the sequence of courses on the green sheet, stay on the green sheet. If you're not on the sequence, get on the sequence. But I'll work it out in my senior year. How's that going to work? Sadly, expensively, stressfully. You might have 2 senior years. Whoa, that's not funny, doctor. I know, it's not funny. Do it now, right? If you don't get on the sequence, it will cost you time and money, okay? We love you, we care about you. I had a student, he was my advisee, and he would never come to academic chapel where we did the sheets. And then I would email him and say, hey, I didn't see you, I missed you, I hope you're doing okay. And he wouldn't respond. Like, you little crumb, or whatever you call people in polite company when you're frustrated. And I'd send him another email. Hey, maybe you didn't see my last email. Hope you're doing well. I miss you. I want to help you. Slacker. I'd send him like 3 of these emails, and he would never answer me. One day I caught him in the lab, in the corner. Not really. I said, hey, I'm Dr. Anson. We've never met because you don't come to chapel. I didn't say that, but I thought that. I said, I really want to help you with your schedule because we want to get you graduated on time. And he goes, yeah, I don't get too stressed out about that schedule. And now I've had it, right? You have found the limits of my good nature. And I said, with great decorum, that's fine. I'm not going to get too stressed out when you don't graduate on time and it costs you extra time and money. I turned around and walked away. Well, he was pretty sure I was a jerk. I was pretty sure I was like practically not a prophet because it was just cause and effect, right? You didn't have to see the future to see the future, right? We knew, well, years before he graduated, he said, you know, I used to not like you. I said, yeah, I know. I'm probably, but you didn't. He said, well, other people seem to like you, and I think I was wrong. I was like, oh, geez, thank you. And he's actually come back since then and seen me, and we don't talk about how fun it was to be his advisor. He wouldn't do it. You couldn't, help him. So the horse, right? So the green sheet, this is a very faded green. It is green. This is funny. So if you're working on this stuff, it's not stressful, right? I'm trying to persuade you. Some of you are kind of angsty, and I probably make it worse for you. If you blow it off, it is something to be worried about. Does that make sense? If you do the things you need to do, show up, or if it goes wrong, you get help quick, no problem. Even if you have a problem over Christmas break, fine. If your whole plan is to only work on this over Christmas break, not fine. So this is, you can get with this, the thing on the left, the green sheet, or you can process this image. Bro. Expecting, excited, engaged. Dude all by himself on the end. Engineering. There's a season for that. It took me 5 years to do my bachelor's degree. It was exactly what I needed. I got a couple tricks other people don't have. I took a couple extra classes. I wasn't quite ready, actually, either. Nothing wrong with that. There's something wrong with having 4 years of money and needing 6 years to get it done because you didn't plan, right? So plan, otherwise you'd be standing on the end, year 6, engineering. We don't want that for you. So course scheduling's coming up. You're going to see emails. October 19th, you're going to fill out a green sheet. Your advisor's going to review it. You can get the green sheet, course sequence. There's 2 that are green. There's actually 3 green papers. You need the BSME one. The other one is mechanical engineering technology. I'm sorry, it's the same color. I'm sorry. There's some things I can't fix, right? If I change ours, it'll be like, we'll call it the green, it'll be purple, and we'll call it the green sheet forever. By the way, you know a green card, immigration card? You know those are pink, or at least they used to be. Last time I saw one, it was pink. I found that quite confusing. So you're going to submit your green sheets in Academic Chapel. If in doubt, register like you're going to pass your classes. But Dr. Anson, I don't know if I'll pass. If in doubt, register like you're going to pass your classes. What we tend to do is, if in doubt, do nothing, which makes everything go worse. Because you didn't even get your English class picked, or your other things that you were pretty comfortable with. Assume you're going to pass. Here's why. If you need to retake a lower level course a second time, you're going to have enough credits to register a little bit earlier, and you're going to have an easier time getting that spot than you're going to have getting the junior spot. Oh. Right? Because seniors register first, then juniors, then sophomores, then freshmen. That's because everybody want to get you out in 4 years, right? And so you got a better chance of getting a low-level class if you're surprised and find you need it again, and that's okay, than you do of getting a higher-level class. So here we go. Here's dates, 11/2. So what's happening 11/3? The election. You won't be distracted, will you? You need to get this rolling, right? This is not hard if you take it seriously. You select your courses. So you'll go in and register. So green sheet, you meet with your advisor in Academic Chapel. It will be set up for you. If you follow the prompts, it will happen. You don't have to figure this out. You'll go over your green sheet. If your advisor does it the way I do it, they look at you, they ask you 1 or 2 questions like, are you on the sequence? And they're like, you go, yep. And I look at it, and I initial it, and it's done. And some of you are like, nope, I got a problem. I'll go, okay, sorry, end of the line. We're going to fix you. If I can get through 20 people in a little bit of time, then I can do a really good job for the people that need extra time. Does that make sense? It's triage, right? The most good for the most people. And if you need a lot of time, I can fix you up. We'll set it up in an office. We'll help you. You'll get taken care of, right? It's just wait. It's not no. So then you go and you register on registration day. And there's a link you click that says, what does it say? Submit to advisor or something like that. I don't see it because I'm not a student. Submit for advisor approval. If you do not click it, we will not see it. It will not get approved. If you click it 3 times, we will say, bless your heart. Please stop clicking the button. Right? I don't go approve them every time someone clicks that thing, because what do you do after you click that button? Not you. What do some people do? They go fiddle with it. Actually, I think I want to have a 9 o'clock class and not at 8. Okay. How do you catch a knife that's in free fall? You let it hit the ground. Stop bouncing around. You bend over and pick it up. This is what I do with your schedules. I'm not gonna chase them when they're in flux, right? So, but your spot is held. You got it. You're hooked up. You got it. No one's gonna take your spot because your advisor didn't approve it. That would not happen until well into when classes start, January. And their system prevents that. The system will email your advisor to do it, and then it'll email me that they didn't do it. There's safety protocols. You're in good shape. So one of the problems people have is they can't sign up for a class because they don't have the prereq. And you ask people, hey, can I take this class without the prereq? And they say, yeah, fill out the form. And you take the yeah and you run with it and you don't fill out the form. Well, here's how you fill out the form. Oh, that's terrible. So it's really ghosted out. If you literally Google LeTourneau registrar forms and scroll down, there's an engineering pre/co-requisite waiver request form. Oh, that's really funny. Huh. Do this one. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's down at the bottom. So I've scrolled way down the list. It's the second or third one from the bottom. So sample email. This is not an actual email, but it's based on real events with the names changed to protect the guilty, okay? Just read this for a minute. You know, who, what, why, when. Ask these questions. What's the date? What's the time? What's he asking for? What's he need? What's the tone? How's it feel? This is not a real email, but it's actually realistic. So, so it's not a real person, but he's got a pleasant name. He's got a interesting last name. It's December 25th at 9 o'clock. And he says, hello, Dr. Anson. I hope your Christmas is going well. While opening gifts this morning and reflecting on Jesus' birth, it occurred to me that you need to help me with my course schedule. Where you been, bro? Where you been? We cried, we beseeched, we chapeled, we pleaded, we emailed. They wouldn't do it November 25th. No, they'd do it the 23rd. I'm like, I'm not even. Literally, not even. You know what happens if I don't deal with it on the 23rd? I might not think of it again because other emails come in, right? So let's get this. Now, I assure every one of you, if something goes bad, including you just made a bad choice, mistake, goofed up, you're human. We got you. We will fix it. We will fix it. But please don't plan on only engaging this process over Christmas break, right? If you find out you failed a class and you need something worked out, we're going to help you. We are, right? You don't want to take more effort than you need, though, by planning on doing this. I hope that makes, so most of you are like, why does he always say this? Because 15% of the people take 50% of the emotional energy over Christmas break. That's why, right? So, and some they just don't know. That's okay. Nobody's mad. Can we meet? It can wait till tomorrow if needed. You're wearing me out, bro. You're wearing me out. So let's just get after it and make it easy for each other. We're committed to helping you. You be committed to helping you, and good things will happen. STEM electives. I get this question a lot. What's the difference between a STEM and an engineering elective? STEM electives are actually science, technology, so 3,000 plus. This is on the green sheet. It's all in writing. 3,000 plus science, technology, engineering, math, and business. Why don't you call it STEMBA? Because it sounds dumba. That's why. But you can take a business class. Computer science 2,000 or above. That's unique. You want to take it, and it says approved. I can't tell you the last time one of those was disapproved. So if in doubt, sign up If in doubt, your advisor will probably click, good to go, and you'll be okay. So the BSME electives are engineering electives that are approved towards the BSME degree. They do not have to be MEGR courses. They're listed on another green advising sheet. As freshmen, don't worry about it. Junior year, it becomes relevant, unless you're like a super freshman, right? You're like a freshman with junior standing, in which case, don't raise your hand right now. We like you right now. We're not intimidated by you right now. If you raise your hand, we might be intimidated, right? If you self-identify. So it could, basically any engineering course, 3,000 or above, it's not just ME. Which ones will be offered? The ones that are offered. So you'll be able to see them online. I don't have I have like a tentative list, but I don't have a full list. If you're looking for something important, email me. Spacecraft Design and Operations, there is no plan to offer that course in the near future, unfortunately. Doing spacecraft design and operations without an astronaut just seems kind of dumb. So Dr. Lichtenberg has been with us for a few years. He's not with us this year. He's taught that course. Could we pull it off? Yes. Would it be the same? Not nearly. Is it worth doing? I don't think so. So recent graduates, where do they go? Bell Helicopter, SpaceX, Lockheed Martin, Cessna, Collins Aerospace, which used to be, I think now it's Rockwell Collins. Honeywell, Harris, Northrop Grumman, that's all aerospace. Most people do not go to aerospace. You can go to aerospace. There was a focus that we were working on within the BSME, an optional aerospace engineering focus. It's in. Full details are on the green sheet that tell you these are 4 courses, pick 2. One of them is spacecraft design and operations. You can't pick it because we're not going to offer it. What if I already took it? It counts, right? So there's still 3 on there, so you're in good shape. And we'll work on some more. Other things, Amazon, Toyota, Komatsu, Harley-Davidson. So the guy who went to Harley-Davidson actually said he didn't want to go there for work. I don't know. I thought like, that if you went to Harley on an internship, you might not come back to school, right? It might just be too cool. Tattoos, vest, I don't know. How's that go, right? It's just something that's a culture, I would think. Grad school, this is where people go. You see Walt Disney World. We actually have an alum who's at Walt Disney World. We've had 2 go there on internships. One went back to work there upon graduation. The other one loves theater, loves production, loves art. Anybody ever been to Sight and Sound Theater? Sight and Sound, Branson, Missouri, or Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Biblical productions in biblical proportions, like epic, with the gospel presentation at the end. The one who loves theater art presentation, who wanted to work for Disney and doesn't, works for Sight and Sound. It's pretty cool, pretty neat. Parting words. The making of an engineer is an ugly process. Nobody studies engineering because it's fun or because it's easy. They study it because it's cool and because they think they can pull it off, and you can. The fact that you're here says that you can. But you don't know. Remember, it took me 5 years. I might know more about hard things than you would expect. Right? It took me 5 years to do a bachelor's degree, and I needed it. If you say you're not prepared, I'm pretty familiar with that feeling, actually. Making of an engineer is an ugly process, much like watching sausage be made, but the result of both is very enjoyable. You don't have to love the process of becoming an engineer. You have to think it's interesting, be willing to persevere, and then you might love. So you know what happens when you're an engineer? It's not what your faculty do. It's what practicing engineers do for the most part. They show up at 8 o'clock, and they might even go to lunch with somebody, maybe even for an hour some days. And about 5 o'clock, 5:30, you know what they do? They go home. But then what do they do? Well, some engineer all night. Most don't. What do? There's 2 things that you're probably unfamiliar with. There's this place called the gym, which I've not been to lately, and I've gained the quarantine 15, which is stacking up pretty well. All this abundance ain't quite making it in this jacket. It's abundant living. This place called the gym, And I know this is a foreign concept and it's antiquated, but there's actually live TV shows that are on specific nights, and you could watch them. Like The Good Doctor, Monday night. Anson household, Good Doctor's on. Y'all need to stop. We're watching a Good Doctor. Everybody, the whole family's like, Blue Bloods, Friday night. Blue Bloods is on, right? This is just part of what it means to be Anson. Not necessarily. You'll have a life after work. At LeTourneau, you get to go through this process with the brethren. I love this. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me, Jesus that is, you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. What do? We love the Lord. We serve people. We grow technically. We make a difference. I want to comfort you. If my Hezekiah procrastinator email makes you sad, and you're like, what if I make a mistake? Dr. Anson won't help me. That is not true. I will help you, and my colleagues will help you. Scheduling is not a big, heavy, angsty thing if you respond to the prompts, right? If when you're told, hey, go here, do this, you do it, it's not hard. You don't have to figure it out. What if I mess it up? We'll help you. Let's just all plan on trying, right? Because it's a busy semester. We've all got a lot of extra life load with virus and different things that we're thinking about. The election, of course, is a life load for us. Let's try to use each other's time efficiently and well. And if you mess up, we'll help you. It's okay, right? If you do not choose to register, someone's probably going to be like, what happened? I was busy. Really? So was I, right? That's a different... I had a hardship in my family. I'm sorry. Let's pray. Now let's do your schedule together, right? There's a difference there. Does that make sense? I don't want you to be overly angsty about it just because I try to drive the point home. I am exactly at 11:50. I'll stick around for a couple of questions. Let me just send you off with a blessing. May the Lord bless you in your day, give you strength. In that day, when you graduate and you look back to this day, you'll be glad you were here, mask and all. It's worth it. Have a great day.